Welcome to Dark News.
Dark News.
Dark News.
Oh, shit.
They'll never know what it means to have a private moment to themselves.
BBC posted their first article about Silk Road and Tor. Oh, I don't have to go to the street corner and get shot?
I think Bitcoin means 1,000 Silk Roads.
This is a show about cryptocurrencies,
anonymity,
and uncensorship.
All right, so we are live for today's Dark News episode. Today is July 8th, 2014. I've been on the road, moving around the last couple of weeks. I was at the DC conference, Bitcoin in the Beltway conference, set up by Jason King and others, and that was really a very enjoyable experience. I had fun seeing other people's presentations, meeting with different companies, meeting new people, and just all over having a good time. We even heard some pretty exciting live music performances as well, which was a new thing for me at Bitcoin conferences, and I think something that other conferences should repeat in the future. And I've also been moving into a new studio, so I believe this is probably my first show in the new studio, and I'm very excited to be here. And we're also in the process of upgrading some recording equipment as well. Not quite installed yet, but should be arriving soon, and should notice some improvements to the show in the near future. Of course, all of the improvements to the show are made possible through your donations and tips to the show. Each episode I'll throw up QR codes on the screen, and they're always in the video description. You can also, if you want to do like a monthly thing, we have a Patreon account as well, and that's exactly how we managed to improve all of the Dark News shows. So thank you so much for your tips and your donations. Hugely appreciated, and I'm working hard to improve the show in the future. A lot of stuff been going on in the last couple of weeks. We're seeing a lot of new cryptocurrencies that are privacy-centric or who have privacy features included in the coin. Some of them are pretty primitive. It's just centralized nodes that do some off-chain accounting in some of the cryptocurrencies, but some of them are also taking new approaches to privacy. I haven't had a chance to look into any of them in a great deal of depth quite yet, but we'll definitely be doing that soon on Dark News. I'd like to take a look at Cloak Coin. I'd like to take a look at X11 Coin, symbol XC, and there's a whole bunch of them out there that are doing some new stuff in this space, and so I'll be really curious to do a comparison and a bit of a taste test and see what's coming out on top right now. So let's kick things off by taking a look at the dark market prices for the last week or week and a half. So these are the dark market prices for July 8th. So this is compared to about a week and a half ago. Both silver and gold, not much of a change in the last week or so. The dollar lost about 0.41% overall relative to gold, silver, and all of the cryptocurrencies combined. That's still predominantly gold and silver. The dollar lost about 6% relative to Bitcoin, so that's about a 6% gain for Bitcoin in the last week, which is very good news. We saw it go up and down a little bit around the time of the auction of the stolen Silk Road funds by the U.S. Marshals. And but mostly sideways movement for the Bitcoin at the moment. We still hear a lot of predictions of huge upswings in the Bitcoin prices for 2014, but so far this has not come to pass. Darkcoin has been struggling a little bit in terms of its price in the last few weeks. In fact, just in the last week, it lost, the US dollar, you could say, gained about 40% relative to Darkcoin in the last week. Can now buy a 0.14 Darkcoin with every US dollar compared to 0.1 about a week or a week and a half ago, but still Darkcoin is quite up quite a bit since we started tracking it on the show. Dollar lost about 90% overall relative to Darkcoin. It's still sitting at number 4. It actually lost a place for a few days to Purecoin, which rose to number 4, but now Darkcoin for the moment is sitting back at number 4, just slightly above Purecoin. I think Purecoin is right now at around 30 $30 million, and a Darkcoin at about $32 million market cap. A non-coin lost about 10% relative to the dollar. A bit of a slump in general for privacy-centric coins. Fedora coin, another a 26% loss to the dollar. And I think Fedora coin is in an all-time low for where we've been tracking it on the show. You can now buy 3.23 million Fedora coins with every US dollar. And that's sitting at number 95. It actually dropped down below the top 100 last week. Now, I made some adjustments to how we're tracking the Bitcoins and Bitcoin market price and Monero as well. These are both crypto note currencies that we're tracking on the show. And they're actually, at one point, Bitcoin was well ahead of Monero, but they're actually right next to each other in the market cap rankings right now. Bitcoin is at number 16 and Monero at number 17. Both are down in the last week. And it looks like there's some steep changes in the price in just the last week for both of these, but actually they're due to some changes in the way that we're more accurately tracking the 24-hour average price for both of those currencies. So they haven't actually lost 45 or 65% relative to the dollar in the last week. So you'll see that level out a little bit next week now that we're using this new metric. And finally, we've seen very steady prices actually for these two types of ammo that we've been tracking on the show. Again, we just track these because they are interesting indicators when there are economic challenges in the Western world or other parts of the world. And so they seem to be quite steady for the last several weeks, for the last few months, and I'm expecting that it will kind of stay that way until we see some major economic changes. So moving on, here's a kind of a zoomed out view of some of the different cryptocurrencies that we track on the show. We have Bitcoin, Darkcoin, a non-coin, Fedora coin, Monero, and Bitcoin. And so you can see with Monero on top here, this is all in a logarithmic scale, which just means that it's kind of looking at the exponential changes over time, and just makes it easier to see how the currencies are changing relative to each other rather than looking at their market caps, because obviously Bitcoin's going to be a lot higher than all of these. So Monero has dived back down, back around to like where it was maybe mid-June or so. And same story for Bitcoin as well. That's the light blue line right here. A Bitcoin mostly sideways movement for now. In between kind of April and May, there was a bit of a dip down, and now it's leveled off back to the levels that we saw kind of earlier in the year. A Darkcoin has dipped down quite a bit, back down to levels seeming right around like mid-May or so. We did actually see the price pick up a little bit in just the last day or two, because Darkcoin announced that they will be coming out with a new version of Darkcoin pretty soon, and most prominently this will include some adjustments to how the masternode payments are being handled, and also a new version of Darksend called Darksend Plus. I've actually been in touch with the Darkcoin development team and doing whatever I can to help out with that effort as well. And Darkcoin in general just has been down recently. I think a lot of that has been due to how the masternode payouts have gone recently. There's been a lot of false starts with that, and so I think that has really affected kind of the market sentiment, and also just the flood of new competitors into the space. We're seeing some of these crypto note currencies surging recently, and we're also seeing some new competitors like X11 Coin, Cloak Coin, etc. And so be very curious to see if Darkcoin will maintain its dominance on top as the leading privacy-centric coin. And of course, Fedora coin has just been down and down and down for a while, and I don't at the moment see any reason for it to recover. Now here's a look at some of the top altcoins in the market cap rankings. These are all below Litecoin, since Litecoin is so much higher than the rest of them. So you can kind of see Next has really established a dominant position. All of these altcoins have been down a little bit since around mid-June, but still Next is by a wide margin on top, just below, not just below, but below Litecoin, and substantially above the next competitor. And as I mentioned before, for a little while we saw this orange line Peercoin dip above Darkcoin for the number 4 cryptocurrency rank, but now Darkcoin has reclaimed that, perhaps temporarily. We will see. Ripple down a little bit, Dogecoin down a little bit, mostly sideways movement for Namecoin, etc. And this next graph, we'll take a look at the logarithmic view of all these different cryptocurrencies, just to help us see a little bit better the relative movements. Really, the most interesting trend that I see here is lately with X11 coin, symbol XC, really took off between the late June and today. So if congratulations to those who may have invested in X11 coin around that time. They seem to have done quite well for themselves, and we'll see whether that maintains or not. Definitely looking forward to taking a closer look at X11 coin and their approach to privacy, and whether there's some real fundamentals behind the market price.